Enkiri here. Today I want to talk to you guys about an exercise that is quite possibly my favorite squatting variation of all, and that is the front squat. Over the years I've watched as the front squat moved its way from obscurity into mainstream popularity, and now it seems the tides are once again turning on my beloved front squat as it's more and more frequently being replaced by variations such as the safety bar squat. And I can see the future, and it looks bleak, my friends. And soon, the front squat will be relegated to obscurity once more, performed only by Olympic weightlifters and me, all by myself in my garage. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is an act nothing short of criminality. Anyone who tells you that a front squat can be replaced by a safety bar squat, frankly, should not be doling out advice as it pertains to strength training, because the logic required to make that leap simply does not compute if you have any real experience in dealing with the exercise. Now, before we jump into the meat of things here, let's start by looking at a little bit of background information so you guys have a better idea of the perspective that I'm speaking from here. About 8 years ago, when I was still relatively new to strength training, I discovered Olympic weightlifting, and with it, I discovered the front squat. And just a few short years later, I had transitioned my way into more of a powerlifting style of training. But it didn't take me long to realize that the front squat had immense carryover to the traditional back squat. And so they remained as a staple in my training routine for years, even long after I had stopped training the Olympic lifts. Now, here's where the safety bar squat comes into play. When I first discovered front squats, specialty bars like this were very uncommon unless you were training in a super hardcore type of gym. Thus, people like me gravitated towards front squats because having just a little bit of variety in your squat training is certainly a good thing for long-term progress. Nowadays, however, these bars are all over the fucking place. You can go to pretty much any gym that caters to real lifters and find a safety squat bar. So, instead of ever learning how to properly front squat, newer lifters just use the safety squat bar instead because they've heard it's just as good as the front squat and that it's going to accomplish the exact same things. Also, let's be real here, it's easier than a front squat. And nobody wants to take the time to master something that's more difficult when an easier version exists. Now, I'm not saying I don't think the safety bar squat is a great variation, because I do. And in fact, I'm tempted to actually purchase one for my home gym. But the front squat is way fucking better, and let me tell you why. Now at this juncture, it's important not to let training for powerlifting, because I know a lot of my subscribers are powerlifters, or at least have competed in powerlifting. But it's important not to let training for powerlifting be conflated with training for overall strength. Because even though being the absolute strongest you can be is the spirit of what powerlifting is, in practice, becoming the master of such a narrow realm often lends itself to creating glaring weak points elsewhere, rather than creating a well-rounded athlete who shows no obvious weaknesses. For instance, many powerlifters, in spite of their impressive bench pressing power, are embarrassingly weak overhead, to the point where they can't even lock a load into the proper overhead slot, let alone throw something heavy up there. I discovered one such weakness for myself when I re-implemented the front squat into my routine a few weeks ago after a multi-year hiatus from the exercise. With the bar constantly pulling me down from the front of my shoulders, I lacked the upper back strength necessary to keep my thoracic muscles extended as I descended into the hole of the squat. And as I fatigued throughout the course of a set, my upper back would begin to progressively collapse further and further with each rep until I was forced to rack the bar. For a powerlifter, something like this isn't really a huge deal because these muscles don't come into play quite to this degree during a back squat. So it's possible to employ workaround variations like the safety bar squat to increase your training volume and not really notice any substantial difference. But then you miss out on all the other benefits of the exercise. Yes, it has tremendous carryover to the back squat and squatting strength in general. Carryover that's just as good as any other squatting variation you can think of. And it's going to help you build massive quads as well. But it also doubles as the best core exercise I know of. There's a reason I love doing heavy front rack pulls and front rack carries. But even those don't compare to the abdominal strength that you can build when you actually move in and out of a deep squat position with that same weight on the front of your shoulders. If you've never done a front squat before, expect some serious, deep abdominal soreness the day after a high volume workout. That's your transverse abdominis telling you what's up. Keep those muscles strong, and you'll also keep your spine happy as well. And then there's the matter of improving upper back strength. As I mentioned a minute ago, with the bar constantly bearing down on the front of your shoulders, the muscles that control your thoracic spine must fire into overdrive to prevent the upper back from folding over. And this effect merely amplifies the deeper you move into the squat position. This has a tremendous impact on general upper back strength. And honestly, front squats are quite possibly the best upper back exercise in existence. The safety bar squat mimics this to a small degree, but you can cheat your way out of it since you don't have to keep the torso upright the same way as you do during a front squat. The lever arm also isn't quite as long due to the posterior bar positioning, again reducing this effect somewhat. It also doesn't have the same strengthening effect on the abdominals, so it's not really a suitable replacement. Again, this upper back strengthening effect is underestimated by many people, and it's also the reason why the front squat actually makes a fantastic assistance exercise for the deadlift as well. Increase your upper back strength, and your lockout is likely to become much smoother and easier along with it. Lastly, there's the matter of the mobility requirements. A properly executed front squat requires not only a great deal of strength in the thoracic extensors, but also a great deal of mobility. They have to be able to maintain a rigid, fully extended position under great loading. Assuming a clean grip is used, the lats, triceps, and wrists all have to be highly supple as well. And a great deal of hip mobility is required to tie it all together and move into that deep squat position while maintaining the prerequisite perfectly upright torso. And if you can master just this one exercise, you will continually garner all of these benefits for years to come. I don't know about you, but personally, I'm not willing to sacrifice all of these things simply for the ease of using the latest in vogue specialty bar, or because I was too lazy to master something that was difficult but truly worthwhile. Olympic lifting as a whole may be an overly complicated, overly technical pain in the ass, but those guys still get a lot of things right. And if we can take away just a small fraction of their knowledge, we can gain the majority of the benefits that their style of training has to offer. The front squat is one such instance. Master it. Keep it in your training arsenal. Use it to your advantage, and you'll not only become a more well-rounded athlete and lifter, but you'll also be one step closer to patching up all those holes you just discovered in your foundation. Anyway, that's all I got for now, guys. Please be sure to like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me some love in the comments down below. Also, if you're interested in online coaching, be sure to shoot me an email at enkiri.elite@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to pass some more information your way. Other than that, if you enjoy the content I produce, please share your favorite stuff somewhere, and together, let's make Forest of Wolves Gym one of the biggest fitness channels on YouTube. Keep training hard, and I will catch you guys next time.